Update to COVID-19 vaccinations is now approved by the FDA.
And the new boosters could be available in the next few days. WKYT's Lucy Bryson is in studio to explain. Lucy?
The FDA approved updated COVID-19 boosters for Moderna and Pfizer vaccinations Monday. This comes just after WKYT reported at the end of last month that August had a higher rate of positive COVID cases compared to July in Lexington. I spoke with various Lexington medical professionals about this booster development.
I think it's good timing in getting this out there in arms.
Once these vaccinations are fully approved, which could happen as early as next week, the turnaround time to get those shots to the public will be quick.
It typically only takes us a few days to get that planned, and hopefully by beginning of next week, we will have the shots able to be delivered.
She shared that oftentimes the FDA will approve vaccinations and some patients will immediately think that the vaccination is ready to be distributed. But in reality, there is more consideration to be had.
There are several levels of approval, and so the FDA is just really that first clearance. And then also the Advisory Council for Immunization Practices has to approve everything. And then the final sign off is the CDC.
Erica Gregonis is Baptist Health's chief medical officer. She says the approval of this vaccine comes at the right time as sick season is moving closer.
Going into the winter season, people are always a little concerned because we already know that we have higher rates of flu and RSV in the fall and winter.
But she is assuring the public that they plan to have everything under control.
Our goals have always been really decreasing those patients that require hospitalization, get severe disease, and we want to prevent death from COVID.
According to an article from the Associated Press, the FDA is opening their newest shots to most Americans. It's part of a shift to treat fall updates of the COVID-19 vaccine, much like getting a yearly flu shot.